For NOLA.com, the Thomas McEwen, Jared Roser here at West Monroe High School with Dennis Collins, 2017 defensive lineman. Already got a couple offers. Already got a lot of pretty notable schools that have been talking to you. I know I've seen you on visits at LSU before and all those things down in Baton Rouge. What's the recruiting process been like so far? What's been the latest with you? How's it been treating you?
It's been straight, just like got the Tech and Jackson State offer. Got a few junior days coming up, like LSU, TCU, probably Alabama's too.
What's it like, particularly as like a defensive lineman coming through West Monroe? Because there's so much tradition here, really, I mean, just as a program as a whole. But then you look at the defensive front, and when I was at the News Star a couple of years ago, I remember writing a story about the success they'd had putting defensive linemen in college and stuff like that. We were just talking about all those guys going to TCU the last few years. What is that like to come through this program at that type of position?
I really didn't want to play defensive lineman at first. I wanted to be a tight end, but my middle school coach told me they put a lot of defensive linemen in, and his son had just went to TCU, James McFarland. Yeah. So I said I'd give it a try. Took it and ran with it.
So you doing all right, even not getting a chance to go out and catch passes right now? You liking it? 3 years in?
Feeling good? I might well say I like it. I'd rather catch touchdowns, but
well, you've seen some of those guys. I know I watched Terrell return a fumble or something at some point a long way. What's it like to see those things, or as a defensive lineman to have a chance to get involved and actually put some points on the board?
Best feeling in the world. It's a dream come true. Like, that what D-line won't probably. Pick up fumble, catch a pick, go crib it. Listen to the crowd, go crazy.
You got the Jackson State offer was the first offer?
No, the Tech offer was.
And those were both at the end of sophomore year?
Yes, sir.
What hit, I guess, from your sophomore season now through junior season and looking to going into this last high school off season, what have been some of the biggest things that you've learned and improved upon, anything along those lines, just kind of your growth as a player?
Probably my motor. First coming in, I ain't really had no good motor, but the D-line coach up here did a pretty good job of making me wind up my motor, go hard every play my hair on fire. Probably the most improved thing I've done.
What are you hoping for from this off season? I guess first recruiting-wise, just going to, you mentioned you plan to go to some of these junior days and take some trips and stuff like that. What are your plans like? What are you hoping to accomplish over the next several months?
Probably add a few more offers here or there, weigh my options, but that's just about it.
As far as the work portion of it and getting ready for senior season, what are some of the areas that you look at and think you can tweak a little bit or just perfect a little bit going into your final year at West Monroe?
Speed, probably the most important thing right now in the game of football. You can't never be too fast. And probably hand placement and become a better pass rusher. That's what I'm working on right now.
How much do you hear from some of those older guys? You obviously, I think folks here, if you're in West Monroe, you probably know about them. But how much do you hear from the guys that were before you at that position?
I talk to them a lot, like Kiki Mingo. Me and his brothers, both his brothers like this, so I usually talk to him a lot. Talk to Chuck a lot, I see him all the time. I don't really talk to James and Terrell like that, but.
Yeah. Fair enough. Have you thought much about the fact that you do now have just one more football season, or knowing that basketball you're in the middle of that, is it kind of hard to focus too much on what's happening in the fall?
Yeah, I'm really just thinking about basketball right now. Trying to get the district championship and make a run in the playoffs. Hopefully get a championship in basketball right now.
There you go. Dennis Collins, 2017 defensive lineman and basketball star over at West Monroe. For NOLA.com, Thomas McEwen, Jared Roser.